hello.
Oh, we don't need right now.
Don't need what?
We don't need the chairs right now.
Oh.
No one's sitting in them. But I think when I turned my light on, it turned that. Was it on earlier? To donate the paint?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe? I don't know. It feels really weird not having it on.
Really?
Yeah, it's like there's like a weird darkness on the left side of me that I'm just like.
I can turn it on if it bothers you.
Would you? It's a little weird.
I can. Got used to that light over there.
Yeah, it's really weird. Oh yeah, I mean, to save your light, I'll deal with it. It definitely screwed up your light. Yeah. Well. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back.
We haven't figured this stuff out yet.
we're sorting it out.
So what happens if I?
Fine.
It's on?
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's great.
I don't know how it works.
I don't. It's sometimes it's great. Sometimes it sucks. I don't know. Those
a scary dark corner of Monument HQ.
Yeah, it is really weird. Dang it! I did the thing.
Don't do the thing.
I did the thing.
Oh, Jordan.
I did the thing. I did the thing. Grr. Hold on, chat. Let's
Jordan lost that little piece that we've had to crawl around previously for the little part on the airbrush.
What the heck are you doing?
I feel like this happens every time.
It really.
You said it really does.
Hasn't happened in a while, so I feel better about it. But
3-day weekend really broke Jordan's flow.
Yeah.
Find it?
Nope.
Oh. Jordan needs more things. You know what Jordan needs is like I don't know, something that would like you know how like you can put a chain on your glasses so that when you take your glasses off you don't lose them.
Yeah.
We need a chain like that on the thing on the airbrush.
Hi, chat.
You got a flashlight down there?
I got one. Oh, I see.
Oh, good. Okay, you found it. Yeah, the kind old ladies wear.
Actually helped.
He does not need an airbrush. He has an airbrush almost in his hand right now.
Oh God! Huzzah!
And it won't get to our HQ super fast because we're out of stock.
Oi, chat.
Xenophonetic, that is just way too much to ask.
Uh-oh. What's getting asked?
It's a question for Twitch. Well, not a question for Twitch, a request for Twitch. I wish I could convince you to show me ads that had relevance to me.
Yeah. Yeah, about that. They don't like doing that.
Oh, Ryan Wallace, I was going to ask if that was you. I think there might be 2 people named Ryan Wallace, but I could be wrong. But I'm glad that we were able to get you set. If I had bought something from Monument and had the delivery address as Monument headquarters, what's the odd they actually ship it or just get confused?
Huh?
They'll ship it. 100%. If it's got shipping on it, they're going to ship it.
I feel like...
Trust me.
They would?
Yes.
Okay. Even if they saw the address?
They don't really look at the address too closely.
Really?
There's no need.
Oh, fair.
The address is already on there.
No, I guess you don't
They
need
they just print the label. That's all they do. They just buy it and print it. So we had one get by that had an address. It was a fraudulent order. We had like 4 of them. And they all had the same address, which wasn't a real address, but each one had a different city, state, and zip code. The address on these was like Street 10, number 5 on the second. I mean, just like completely not even anywhere close to a legitimate address. And one of them got shipped. We caught it because I went through and started looking at them, and I found it and pulled it off the cart and canceled it. But yeah, they'll just ship it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Please don't do that, Mike.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Turns out we have all the products that we're shipping out at headquarters, and therefore don't need anything shipped to us from headquarters.
So Xenophonetic, I don't know. We haven't been able to figure this out. But it was one day, and there were like 4 or 5 orders, and all they had on them was a set of replacement blades for our cutter. That's it. Which is like maybe $3 or something. And we don't know what the intent was, what the goal was of these people. Maybe to be able to do a chargeback, or we don't know.
Hello, I'm here.
It's weird. And then we also had one where someone had purchased a Neo bag and had it sent to a random address. And the person that got it contacted us and said, hey, I got this and I didn't order it. I don't recognize the other name that's on this. And I've gotten recently like 200 things sent to my house for random people. So it's some kind of weird scam related to, I don't even know what. I know it happens a lot on Amazon as a way to generate fake reviews.
Is that right? Did you see the notification that our Facebook pixel got hijacked and used for porn sites?
No.
It's a ding because your pixel is open data, and so
Is
somebody
that
was
real?
using
Like,
our pixel to try to.
Is that real, or is that one of those spammy messages that was on Facebook?
No, it's real.
Like from.
It was a real Facebook thing. They tracked it. Somebody hijacked our. Didn't hijack because it was still. It only works for our site, but it was also trying to be used so that anytime anybody did anything interacting with our pixel, it would also give that metric to some porn site.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because like we get.
We had to go in and like blacklist all, whitelist us. That was what we had to do to fix it.
Oh my gosh.
Because we get a lot of messages of like, your account is at risk of being suspended. Blah, blah, blah.
Those are spam.
Okay.
Those are trying to get you to click a nefarious link.
Right.
So don't ever click those.
No, I never do. I was just marked as spam.
Dad's here talking about porn again. I mean.
Well, no, and then the guy ended up, he sent it back to us, which is good. Because the person whose card was used submitted it to their bank as a chargeback. So it was definitely fraud.
How was everybody's weekend? Hope everybody had a delightful long holiday weekend.
Thank you, Oso. It was a holiday? That explains why stream was so quiet yesterday. Did you sit here the whole time?
God, can you imagine?
Dating sites are luring people to restaurants with fake date. Oh, I saw this.
Wait, what?
That's not dating sites. That's the restaurant. That was a restaurant that did that. There was a restaurant that had a fake profile, had a fake male and female profile on dating sites, and that restaurant got caught setting people up for dates. The person would show up, and then
No.
Wait, what?
since the other person didn't exist, it was the restaurant. Because multiple people kept going to the same restaurant, and the person would order dinner anyway, and they were doing it as what they thought was fun advertising, but they were luring people into dates.
Horrible.
And
Wait,
the person
so
would
they
show
were-
up when there was no other date coming, and they just order food anyway because they were so embarrassed about it. So
Oh, that's like, oh, that's horrible.
restaurant catfishing.
Oh my
Restaurant
gosh.
catfishing.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous. Here, Jason, do you want to pour it out of this one? Someone has more water.
That is sad.
No, because you're spraying. I don't plan on using it.
As someone who has partaken in the online dating and had it work very successfully, that was the worst thing. Was going and like
Maybe a
wondering
little.
where the person is and are they gonna show up?
I only got like half a glass. Like the wondering if they were going to show
Yeah.
up.
Oh, what a horrible, horrible feeling.
I would hate that. That would drive me absolutely nuts. I'd be so mad at the restaurant too.
Division Ring has a question about Angra. Is
Oh.
that supposed to be so quiet, I think, on the marketing front? I keep thinking I've missed some sort of review embargo or email blast because it's coming in 3 days, but absolutely no info about it other than a box cover and a tiny photo of a CGI game board.
No, it's just that when we market, we have a commercial running right now that's just a teaser. In about a week, you'll see another commercial come out that has more shown, but it's just literally just like a trailer. It's got some digital assets of the cards and things like that. I'm not sure Christopher may be listening in. I don't remember if the trailer has any live gameplay shots going on, but we have a lot of other marketing things that are going to start hitting as we get towards launch. So the game that showed up today are the review copies. So we have 25 review copies, I think, and so all of those, Jordan's going to get sent out. The team's going to get sent out to the reviewers. We're planning on going on Dice Tower. There's all sorts of stuff happening there, which I need to talk to you about before you leave. By the way, the Dice Tower thing, if you've gotten any info back on that.
I have not. But
So, so there's a lot going on. It's just you're getting a view early because you watch on stream and because you're on the Discord and stuff. You'll see things earlier than the marketing, right? So trust me, the marketing will be there. It just hasn't picked up yet. We don't
That
like
is-
to market heavily until you have product to buy. And because we're not a company that believes in the Kickstarter aesthetic, you know, where you do all of the stuff and then you get all of the money and then eventually you may deliver the product. We make the product, put the product in our warehouse, and then we start the marketing. So,
That artist Amelia, thank you for the raid. Hello,
Hello.
Raider.
welcome, Raiders.
Hoosiers, that's awesome. Hoosier said, my nephew learned to jump off the diving board, so I spent 6 hours catching him.
that's
sounds like a
awesome.
good way to
You're probably
spend it.
exhausted, right? Can't feel my arms.
Nobody invites me on fake dates.
You have to go ask for them,
Hey,
Clarkatron.
hello. Brian Wallace said, I could gaze into the crone's eyes forever.
Yeah, I saw
I
that
gave
you-
her sultry bedroom eyes.
Raw Tomatoes weekend was pretty good. Did middle of the road at my Star Wars Unlimited tournament, as was expected, and then had a nice chill dinner at my parents' yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, special.
A special meal of
today's
cat. The
special
fried
is
catfish is very good today. Might we suggest?
Oh, horrible. Game Delay played Everdell, a cute game about building the shiniest city for your forest creatures.
Oh, funny.
Crush my relatives. That sounds cute.
You crushed your. I love it when you take the cute fun game and murder people. I was competitive at Monopoly.
At Monopoly.
Seriously, what kind of sociopath thinks that's not totally messed up?
Oh, it's totally
That's
messed up.
horrible.
Totally messed up.
I love
Close
how
them down.
Shane Myra said PA paint is greater than all. None of you can change my mind.
Thank you. You don't have to change people's minds here. Thank you. That's awesome. Xenophonetic, we did buy the seal suit.
You didn't borrow it.
Nobody just gave us one. It was like $45.
The date
We're
was
big spenders
horrible.
on our commercials here.
Date
I
was
always love when we
horrible.
get the comments on our commercials. It's like, I wish you'd spend less on your marketing and more on making your paint be in stock.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so our marketing budget is typically like lunch money, you know? And the fact that the marketing works so well that the paints are out of stock is a good thing.
That's a good thing.
The date was horrible, but I had really good pad thai.
Not in the main one, but we have some others that will show gameplay.
Yeah. So Division Ring, I hope that answered the question.
Jason, have you made any progress on your Golden Demon diorama? Jordan, have you made progress?
No.
I've made more progress than Jordan.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense on the marketing, even if it is the absolute opposite of every other board game.
And
Well,
that's
we
what will
kinda
make
do
it
things
seem
the
so
opposite,
odd
so-
when we do stuff like this, because we don't go the Kickstarter route, right? We don't ask you for money before product exists. We actually make the product because we believe in it, and then we make the cool stuff surrounding it when you can actually buy it. I like that. That's the way I like to find things. If I find something that looks cool, whether on my phone or on the internet, searching on my computer, and I go someplace and it's like, sign up now for more info, you know, I really don't like that to be like, it's coming next year. So even when we did the teaser for Angra, and it's only like a month or two away from launch, that felt weird for us. It's like, I don't know how to do this. And that was just to get people to sign up, because for the first time, we're marketing not only to the crowd of people that love Monument Hobbies, but to a whole new base of customer that doesn't know us for miniatures and paint, because it's a tabletop game that doesn't use miniatures, right? So it's a little odd for us. So we're marketing to some new people and gathering information, getting people to sign up for the newsletter, things like that. But when you see the actual marketing, it will be for sale and you'll be able to grab it.
Question for Slow Fuse: will you weather the teeth?
Weather the teeth? What do you mean? They are weathered. She's got smoker's teeth.
There's stuff going on there. That's for
She got some stuff going on there.
Ryan Wallace still waiting on a Kickstarter order from 2020.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever
That's
see it.
why.
Yep. Well, and they do rug pulls and all sorts of stuff, and you know, I get it. You know, people tell me that, but they couldn't help it. Yeah, they can. We just don't like that.
Zeno thought maybe you had already owned the seal suit.
Oh no.
You look so natural in it.
My old seal suit doesn't fit quite the same, so I had to buy a new one.
You guys got product coming out?
Tons. You guys will be happy to know that I got most of the matte varnish testing done this weekend, so we should be fairly quick on that. We've got one more. We sent it out, getting some feedback, and then once we have all that, assuming that comes back in good, then matte varnish will be ready. They're quite white from over there? What the heck? Dial your brightness down. Seriously? Those are not white. They got a little ivory left on them, but those are like some yellow smoker's teeth. You're happy for Monument products, your wallet not so much. Oh, your wallet really does like it. It just acts like it's in pain. ETA on fruit-flavored Pro Acryl set?
Yep.
Sometime later. Mom, is that you?
What happened?
Jen's like, what happened?
Crone?
Crone's going to be great to test orc skin.
Yeah.
I think you could pretty much do anything you wanted to with her. She's got a really, really good amount of texture to this skin, being that it's supposed to be a little old, parched, wrinkly. I had a lot of fun. This is about 30, 45 minutes worth of work yesterday. Fruit stripe acryl. Yep, there you go. Marketing genius.
Can somebody figure out what I'm going to be doing with these?
Division Ring, a cute game named Root. It's a cute game about Imperial conquest, which I feel like, yeah, okay. Oh, so yeah, the goal for me doing this was, and I'm going to continue doing it on stream today, was testing a lot of the paste acrylics, right, the heavy-bodied acrylics. So this is done with me just doing very fast, like I showed in the photo on social media, me just doing a bunch of very quick mixes with the raw components, very CMY. You know, I did
Did that just change?
Yeah, it did.
I did a processed cyan white. I have processed magenta, basically carbon black, a pyro red, burnt umber, and then green oxide that I used. And those are the only colors that I used, and then I did all of her with those. So.
Shane, it's the same model on both cameras, and it's one of our texture trainers. It's not available just yet, but coming soon.
Yep.
So we make these. They're just like, well, we call them like hockey pucks. They're like a hockey puck size.
Yeah.
And they're just meant to give you some different textures to practice on. We have 2 others that are already available on our website.
Yeah,
The Warrior and the Hunter.
That's probably not
Yeah.
Where's the...
a
it's
cool
in the
pink
other one.
gun, but
There you go. This is better.
They're all 65 millimeter round, right, discs. So they get you accustomed to painting bust-sized models and being able to practice textures, blue jean, heavy wool cloth, canvas, metal, beard, skin, whatever, stone, wood, leather. The real goal is to have a lot of different material focus on them so that you can practice your painting techniques, but also at the end of it, get a really, really cool model that you don't have to paint the back on.
you could put a magnet on it, stick it on your fridge. You could put it on a chain and wear it around your neck.
Yeah. Very versatile.
Probably other options as well. Those are the 2 that we like. James Matthias said, I'm having a really difficult time color matching Caliban green with Pro Acryl. Any advice on how to get close?
I don't know it.
Yeah, I don't know it either. It seems like something
Chat?
that would just be like...
Anybody in chat have some tips?
Rex, yeah, hang it up like a painting.
Yeah. Put it in a little frame.
You can become
Shadow
the Flava
box.
Flava miniature painting. We made them. Do you have your gold? Your golden's in your office, isn't it?
It's in my office.
We made those for Adepticon. Gabe had the texture trainer #1, the Warrior, and he did them in really blinged out gold spray paint with gold chains, and we wore them at the booth. It was fun. That was hilarious.
Oh my gosh, I had a really cool idea. Should I share it with the class or should I save it for later, Jason?
I would save it for later.
All right. Sorry, chat. You guys don't get to know about it.
Aw.
I have a
don't
really
know
cool
either.
idea. Jen, you will get to know because I will mention it right after stream if I remember, which I probably won't.
You probably won't. Then you're gonna be gone.
And I'll be
Leaving
gone.
the country.
I am going to be gone out of the country, folks.
Fleeing the country.
It's the last day you're going to see me for a while.
Fleeing the country.
I'll be back next week.
You might say Jordan is on the lam.
Yeah.
He says he'll be
Yeah.
back next week. He hasn't checked his ticket. We were telling today. Paul came up and said, "Hey, have we finally sent Jordan off for good this time?" That's what he said, by the way. So
Did he really?
Paul's not your friend.
I
Yeah.
hope you said that.
Yeah, that's what he said. And I said, "Yes, Paul. We got him a round trip, but he never bothered to check to see where the round part took him to." So
Does it take me right back around to the UK? I go out to Dublin and then back to the UK?
oh no, we wouldn't do that to you. You'll have to go to some other far off continent.
Oh, bummer. You guys sending me to Antarctica? That sounds terrible. Or Australia, even worse. That place has got literal monsters.
It does have monsters. Yes. Australia is nothing but monsters.
Here there be monsters.
I mean,
Here,
there's Gila
there be
monsters here.
monsters. Indeed.
Yeah, but like, Australia is terrifying. They got
Well,
some.
It's probably like Arizona.
Yeah, probably.
Lots of people live there just fine.
It's a nice place to visit.
My sister is raising children. I don't think she would be putting them in the face of danger.
Have you met your sister?
I have a couple times, but
Her sister is literally.
now my brother
Her sister is literally like the nicest person.
and her husband too.
Her husband
He's
is
the
like too
Australian
nice.
one.
Her husband's a serial killer. I'm
Yeah.
convinced. Like he's that kind of nice. He's like, yeah, that can't be right. I don't see that being a thing.
I appreciate that I am not serial killer nice.
Oh, yeah, you're not serial killer nice.
That makes me happy.
You're not serial killer nice.
Nice, but not serial killer nice. I'll take it. This guy.
That's not what we want. Where's my other? I don't want that. 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 I guess I'll take that. All right, here's today's. We've got titanium white, carbon black, primary yellow, cad red, cyan, phthalo green, burnt umber, and primary magenta.
A little bit of everything.
There you go. I
Jordan,
did
you just
a
prime
really
model
cool
only
dark
to paint a different model
iridescent.
instead?
I was prepping this for this weekend. I'm thinking about priming over this model, painting it,
Oh my god.
thinking about it.
Would you just stop?
Why? It
How
looks
much
so cool.
unpainted plastic do you have? Why would you do that? There is no good reason on the planet to do that. I'm gonna need you
All right.
to get accustomed to liking what you do. That's what I'm gonna need.
I don't dislike it.
Gabe just says, "Do not."
I'll buy you a
I'll
new
buy
one.
you a new one.
You psychopath.
Game Delay wants to know how long it takes to train a texture. Can you train a texture like a dog? Or is it more like training cats, where sometimes it's silky and sometimes spiky? Yes.
It takes about that long.
I love how immediately Chris and Gabe responded to that.
Miniac Raid.
What?
Miniac raid.
Welcome, Raiders.
Oh my goodness.
Impossible.
Hello.
Impossible. Going on, Scott.
Someone take Jordan's primer away.
Yeah. Jordan, step away from the primer.
But
Mike's ordering Jordan more duplicate minis so he doesn't reprime them.
nope.
Mike, I'll allow it this once. How are we doing, Raiders?
Hello.
How's the stream? Thank you.
Raiders here. Start talking about paint again.
Miniature
Quick, change the
Maniacs. What is going on? Welcome to Monument Hobbies.
Knarf or Narf said we need better tasting paints. There's a whole market for you to explore.
We need what?
Better tasting paints. There's a whole market for you to explore.
It's called food.
Miniac said, I would buy that paint, Jason. And pointing to the better tasting.
Oh, wait a minute. I have a feeling that as soon as we made flavored, better tasting paints, the FDA would be the next call we get.
Yeah.
We ain't trying to
Wouldn't be
talk to
allowed
government
make them without
agencies.
FDA, I don't think. Why did you give the hag come hither sexy eyes?
That was the whole point, right? The crone is supposed to like have the eyes of the young maiden, right? Lure you in.
THC infused paint when?
Maybe we should get with one of the what's the CBD? We should get with one of the CBD places in Phoenix. And tell them that paints are better with cannabis.
The FDA let scented markers be a thing forever. You'll be fine. Just make it scented paint that happens to taste good. Those markers, those are dangerous. They definitely make you want to taste them.
Oh my God, the scented ones?
Yeah.
Oh. Don't do
Scented
it.
markers.
Avian,
Don't do
are
it,
you,
chat.
Are you holding up a boombox as you type that? The Ice King said, "Wow, you're spraying for so long without having to clean the tip."
Uh-huh.
Welcome to Pro-Acryl.
Yep. Kind of just does that.
Turns out we make good stuff.
If Jason decides to make flavored paints, he'll be the modern interpretation of Willy Wonka.
Golden tickets in them.
Bold pyrrole red, CBD green, meth blue. Oh, no meth blue. No.
Meth blue. What
No.
the heck?
No. Bold
Meth
titanium
blue.
white marshmallows.
That-
Walter White Blue.
Walter White blue.
That's what should have been on White Blue. Hey, Gabe,
Put it on the whiteboard.
put it on the
Gabe.
whiteboard. White Blue needs Walter as the trivia text.
Oh my god.
Scented markers did not taste like they smelled.
Done.
Gabe's redoing labels.
Is he really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Gabe. When you're redoing labels, you need to pass those by me. We might need to put some jokes on them.
Yeah, we got to put a few. Not sure the material data sheets cover what happens if you smoke the paint. Yeah, we don't recommend that. Let's not try it.
Yeah, definitely don't do that either.
So it turns out safety data sheets go off of like recommended allowance of intake, which is 0 for paint. So just remember that, chat.
Ice King, where do you live? The Ice King said, "I love your paints, but I still need to thin them down so much. Maybe it's just super dry where I live." We are in a desert.
We are literally in the driest climate in the U.S., so that's not the case.
Arizona, USA.
When
where
you say
the
you need to thin them
current-
down, what are you trying to do with them that's requiring you to thin? Because like any paint, your technique is the guiding factor. Me sitting here telling you, even as the manufacturer, that you shouldn't have to thin our paints much is irrelevant. If you like to glaze with lots and lots of very thin layers, then yeah, you'll need to thin them. And you'll want to thin them aggressively, and we've built them to do that. But, you know, under normal conditions, what I would say, and maybe that's a bad term calling it normal, but under, you know, normal painting and layering conditions, you don't really have to thin Pro-Acryl a lot except for opacity. Because we build our paint and have formulated it to be low viscosity so that you're never having to mess around with getting it to flow the way you need it to go on models. Right now I'm painting with our upcoming heavy-bodied acrylics, and even those, I'm just dipping into my carbon black with a damp brush, right? Even though these are full-on paste acrylics, right? So these are no joke. This is not like runny acrylic. These are full-on heavy-bodied acrylics that I'm using.
That is not a wet palette.
Not a wet palette, just on a piece of paper.
And it is...
And I'm just painting with a number 6 that's damp.
Our indoor humidity today here in Phoenix is 6%.
6.
So, can't get much drier than that. I don't know how we're not all dust around here.
I kind of feel like dust a little bit. Feeling a little dusty. Oh, yep, there it is.
They live in a place that is not fit for human habitation. It's not fit for all humans. That is for sure. How will they perform on a wet palette?
Fantastic.
Beautifully. I use a wet palette
It does
every
look
day.
like finger paint paper.
Fear not, for our paints work beautifully in a wet palette.
Ice King is in Canada. I think it's a skill issue. I have the issue where the spray stops if I don't move the trigger, then goes again if I move a little bit. I find if I thin them super duper, I don't get that issue as much.
Airbrushing you're talking about?
Sounds like airbrushing.
Yeah, you can thin them for airbrush for sure. But that could also be, you know, a problem with your airbrush having a little bit of a clog needle or really small aperture or something like that. But yeah, are they thin great for airbrush? We run them straight through the airbrush here for base coats where I want a lot of punch to the color, but then we start thinning them down crazy.
Bakamaru, also thank you for reposting that. We'll get that in a sec. But first though, as the thought said, why even make heavy body acrylics for a miniature paints company? I never really understood the appeal of paints that have poor self-leveling for painting minis.
So
On
that's not the
canvas,
case.
It makes sense to have paints that can retain texture, but not so much here.
So first off, you have to understand that heavy-bodied acrylics, one of the biggest gripes of acrylics in the what we'll call artistic world, the broader sense of like canvas art, is that they self-level. That's why people don't like them for painting, because oils don't, right? Oils peak, oils give you more texture to your painting. That's more of that classic feel. Acrylics don't do that without the addition of a gel medium, or maybe there's some acrylics out there that are built to emulate that right out of the tube. But that's not the case normally. Acrylics, the resin and the binder in them, once it cures, and just the polymerization of acrylics like that causes them to lay flatter naturally. And so with our waterborne acrylics, we don't have to worry about that. And so our paints are formulated to act like the paint you would use normally. It just gets you closer to the source, let's call it. Because when you're dealing with liquid acrylics, which we make and we love, and we get them and they're very opaque and we can control them better than we can with the tube paints, those are great. And we stand behind them 100%. The heavy-bodied acrylics come in basically like our transparent paints. They're reduced opacity mainly because they're single pigments, and most of those pigments are not very opaque, right? But they're very vibrant. And so when you want that punch of color to layer and to do glazing and filtering with, it's nice to have the heavy body to put out on there on your palette after you've used our liquid acrylics to do your base coating, your value sketches, and everything where you need opacity. And then you can start using a mix of the blended heavy-bodied and the liquids to get the right sense of being able to glaze easier. It makes all of those methods a little bit easier. It doesn't take as much effort to reduce the opacity on them, right? Because they don't have like a tint base to them. They're not mixed with titanium white to make the color. You have to make the color yourself, and that's the struggle with them, is that you have to mix to achieve the same range of hue with single pigment acrylics like this. So they're a give and take. You definitely don't have to use them, right?
Albino Black Sheep Dark Crimson is a gloss paint. It's not a matte paint.
Yep. It says on the bottle.
But can I add matte varnish to the bottle? If I
Sure.
add it to the bottle, would you put it in the bottle?
It will dilute opacity a little bit, so be careful, right?
Division ring. I'm going back a little bit still, right after the question that Jason just answered, and I have a comment from you that said that's pretty impressive for the thinning of the heavy body. At that point, it sounds like the paint basically falls apart at the merest hint of water is in the same room. I'm not understanding that. Does that make sense to you?
No.
Okay. Can you clarify what you mean by that, Division ring? And then Baka wants to know what's the plan with the heavy body stuff? What would the use case for those be?
Well, I mean, you could do what I'm doing here. You could do like airbrush with our primer, which I've done here to do a value sketch, basically just a zenithal prime, and then you can use them to do all of the painting. I'm having to do more layers and work harder than I would normally want to in order to do that. I should be using our normal Pro Acryl to build these initial layers up, but I'm testing the paints, right? We're going through and getting close to release date for these.
You're right on the edge there. We can't really see what you're doing. There we go.
So I'm trying hard to push them to their limits. And so getting the opacity I want out of them right now is key, or finding how they act in situations where low opacity is usually a struggle, you know? So you'd want to use something like what I have here, where I've done, a little bit of pre-shading.
Xenophonetic, remember that the satin and gloss paints are all in signature series sets. So the artists preferred those finishes.
Yep.
James Siren wants to know what you're thinning the heavy body paints with.
Water on my brush.
Wow. Division Ring also says, can we see Baby J run the heavy body through the airbrush without thinning?
No. That's not how that works.
I'd really like to not have to clean that.
Yeah, that's not how that works. We're not trying to ruin Baby J's last day before he moves to the UK.
Extrian Day will be in 2.
I heard that, Jason.
Wait, whoa, that was my outside voice. Sorry, Jordan.
You would be sad with me gone, I hope. Maybe.
Xenophonetic are the, can I canvas paint with these?
Can you what?
Everybody's?
Canvas paint with the heavy bodies.
Can you do what?
Canvas paint.
Sure.
I mean, you can use that with regular Pro.
Realize that we have formulated ours to be more matte. Not all the colors I'm using here are more matte, by the way. But so they'll be more matte, which may or may not be what you're looking for. Depends on how you like to paint canvas. If that's something you do very often, the satin nature of paints on canvas is typically more appropriate for a 2D surface because it'll create some reflection that wouldn't be there. But on a 3D surface, we prefer painting with more matte or slightly satin paints. So you might find if you've ever tried to use, tube acrylics on a model that you'll get way more shine out of them.
So Division Ring has some clarification. He said, "I'm used to the scale artist paint where it needs quite a bit more thinning than Pro Acryl to bring it from the out of the tube consistency to something I'd consider properly thinned.
Sure.
If PA heavy paste body doesn't require that, then I have to assume it reacts more dramatically to water. Like with just a bit of water, it goes from paste to liquid."
Well, you can see that just with the water on my brush, this is the consistency I'm getting. Right? So let me show you. Right, so I'm using a number 6, which by and large will hold quite a bit of water, right? So I'll come over here, wipe it a couple times on my paper towel, right? So it's not like dripping water. And then I've been making this kind of yellowy green. So here's the green, and then grab a little bit of yellow, right? And mix those two together. And now I've got a really, really good painting consistency, right? And that's what I'm painting all of these little gold charms with.
Jeremiah M said, "Heavy body is good for catching edges to build up texture for raised detail or for subsequent color glaze." And Hobbybot, thank you for getting back to James on that question about the green. Do we know the size of the tubes that the new paste acrylics will?
We're shooting for 25 mil. They'll be the same amount of paint that you would get in our standard acrylics.
Baca said, "I guess I'm loony. If they require more fiddling and you say you could do the same with the regular, why use the heavy body as opposed to regular?"
Oh, so first off, we're not trying to tell you that this is how you should paint. It's an option. For those people who grow their painting skill to a point where they want to be in control of their mixtures more, they want to be able to have the paint start as, like I said, as close to raw pigment as you can possibly get without it just being a weathering powder, then heavy-bodied acrylics will get you there because they allow you to alter the paint's viscosity and opacity however you like. Right? So you're in complete control. The starting point for a paint like this is much different than the starting point for a paint that's already in a suspension. Right? The suspension can't get thicker if you want it. Right? The suspension can't add more pigment to it if that's what you're looking for. If you really need that shock of vibrancy. But it is definitely for a painting style that is comfortable doing this and doing a lot more mixing, like I said. The reason why liquid acrylics exist is because, number one, they're thinned for viscosity so that they already work better on three-dimensional surfaces, right? I can use them right out of the bottle in most cases with just the wetness on the brush. Here, I am having to use a lot more water. I am having to watch how I thin it so I don't get a lot of material that leaves texture for my brush strokes on the model, because that's not what I'm looking for. But I can get it if I do want that. So if I were painting heavy cloth, then I might want a little bit of that brushstroke texture in there. So it gives me the ability, whereas a liquid won't. So it's just kind of taking what we would normally consider to be the pitfalls of painting in 3 dimensions and giving you some of the leeway as you, like I said, as you grow your painting skill, you might find that, I really wish there was a product that did this. And now you can start from basically the further back source point and then control the paint all the way through. You can still add mediums to it. You can still use it however you want. But if you found yourself turning them into liquid acrylics, then they're probably not worth it. Does that make sense?
Huh?
I was asking if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. OMG Mike said, "Is Chris going to be a super special MESBG guest painter?" I don't understand this.
Middle Earth strategy battle game guest painter while I'm gone, presumably, is what he's asking.
We may rotate through some cool people on the stream while Jordan's out of town.
Xenophonetic said, "I've never painted canvas. Thought about it so I can make a mess. I want to use a 6, I just can't. I hate all of you use a bigger brush." You don't have to use a 6. Change anything about the way
I use
like
a
the
3
quality of
for
your painting?
basically everything.
Use the tool that works best for you. Jess said, "What up, yo? Working on a unit of 10 Dread Scythe Harridans. Still loving my HH novels. After
Nice.
Flight of the E, I haven't been able to choose between Fulgrim or The First Heretic, so I went with a book of short stories about all the Primarchs called Lupercal's War. Very happy with the choice so far. Story about the last church on Terra was amazing."
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've heard that.
The Last
story.
Church is great. Have you watched the fan-made cartoon?
Oh, it's so good. I have actually watched it.
It's pretty faithful to it.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Division Ring said, "I think I see what's happening with the thinning. Jason's just not thinning as much as I normally would."
You don't have to. I mean, they lay flat, so you can be pretty aggressive with them as base coats. Now, if I were thinning for layering right now, I would not be as thick as I am. But I'm having to do base coats. So number one, I want more pigment. I want more opacity. The more I thin it, the more I'm going to have to work more layers on there. So again, as I test, I'm just pushing the boundaries here with the paint. Yesterday when I was doing the skin, I literally was throwing as much pigment at the skin as possible just to see how it would lay at the end. Would I get a lot of texture buildup? And the answer was no. If I go in and zoom in on this, you'll see that, I'm getting a very good finish for having piled a ton of pigment on the model for the skin and eyes. I was literally just blowing and going. I wasn't even caring about it for detail. This is about a 45-minute sketch on her face, and I was just pounding pigment on. And I was super happy with the way that it turned out. It's right on par with our liquids.
General Ginkgo has asked, and others have repeated that question. Do we have an idea of the price point?
I don't want to commit to that right now. As always, we'll try to get them as value priced as we can. For 25 mil, I think you're probably looking in the range of like $6-7.
He didn't stream yesterday, Sapo. He just was here testing out the heavy acrylic. Jordan, is that a third model?
Yep.
That's Gabe.
Yep.
The cost of the paints won't stop us from buying the paints. We're freaking chat. We're buying it regardless.
I wanted to spend a little bit of time messing around with the with Flame On set, doing some gold.
The cost of pigment varies wildly in this realm, right? It's true of our normal paints too, because these are the same. Like the phthalo green is the
Not
same
really,
as our transparent green, right?
Gabe said he's turning the compressor off, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're good. I was just thinking about that a second ago, Gabe. So thank you.
Oh, I thought that was.
Gabe read my mind.
I thought that was a spite thing, like he was doing it to get back at
Oh,
you. For
maybe he
painting
was, but I'm
multiple
done.
models.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Yeah, Baka. So we don't have an answer yet.
They will be as affordable as we can possibly make them. And as all of our products, you will see a tremendous amount of value when you look at quality versus price. They are not a signature line. They are not burdened with anything other than the cost of pigment manufacturing. So there shouldn't be a whole lot of issue there.
Back to the thinning from Division Ring, it's absolutely just normally I do this. I know you can get stuff like the Scale Artist to apply without clogging detail, but normally I'll thin to where the paint will flow instead of fouling is the best word I have for it. Basically what you've been doing with the brown on that texture. So just a disconnect between my normal and the it works when you do this standards.
Could be, yeah. You know, one of the problems, I don't know if you come from a world where your comfort level is high with paste acrylics and oil paints and such. You know, you get used to like what I'm doing here being very, very thin, right? And then you need to get used to painting even thinner than this, you know. But I'm being able to get into detail areas and things like that. Whereas you're correct, these paints won't just easily go into cracks and crevices straight out of the tube, right? Because that's not what they're built for. They're built for larger brushes and putting out a lot more paint on the medium quicker. So, but just a little bit of water goes a long way, as it should.
I'm not sure, Jess, what this is in reference to, but Jess is saying, is it the one by Tyler Protogasi? Jordan and Jason? I don't understand. It's
What are we talking about?
right here.
That is nothing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I don't.
Jess, we need a little clarification on your
Yes,
question.
please.
Ridicule said, seen a lot of fantasy stuff lately. Are we still painting any military models or vehicles? Occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, military,
they paint a little of
what, like
everything.
bolt action military? I haven't. Most of it's been like Space Marines and stuff,
Might be a fun thing to do.
right? I have a ton of bolt action that needs painted.
Oh, the last church cartoon. That was from so long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
I don't know that
yeah.
they know.
I don't know who did
I
it,
don't
but
know
I
if
know
they'll know
that it was done, and it's really really cool.
I just painted this.
Woo!
Woohoo.
Nice.
General Ginkgo right here.
So, yeah. I just painted the sense of humor brush holder. I should be using it. I should have it here doing its job.
Matt just sent me a message and was like, hey, there's this order here that says it was supposed to be fulfilled 85 days ago. Is there anything that we need to do with it? I'm like, that's the bold sense of humor.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
working on it.
That's so funny.
General Ginkgo has been very patient. Cannibalistic zombie, hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Azathoth said, I'm not certain that qualifies as military.
What's that? The brush holder? Wait a minute. That feels as military as we're gonna get. Bold sense of humor.
Jordan, can you move a little bit more into camera? Are you doing non-metallic on this?
I am.
Yes.
In fact, I am using exclusively the new Flame On set for the gold on this. Doing the same sort of build-up that Magic does, albeit in a different style. He has a very different process for how he does all of his non-metallic metal, which is very interesting, but is definitely more involved than what I'm interested in doing right now. I started with a little bit of satin black mixed with the where did I put it? The dark green brown.
That's true. It may not be a military model, but it is for a general. That's
See?
a very good point.
The dark orange brown.
We knew we'd get there eventually.
About to go into doing the orange brown. And these plate plates all pretty bright. Here. Did you do any audiobook listening this weekend while you were painting, Jason?
No.
Just focused on the testing.
Well, I would have,
Uh-oh.
but my listening device was stolen.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Wait, your phone?
my Bluetooth speaker.
Oh,
It's actually Jen's Bluetooth speaker,
Uh-oh.
just to make the thieves feel worse.
Do we know where it got lost?
It wouldn't be lost if we knew where it was lost.
Well, okay, fair enough.
No, I didn't have a real intent of listening. I was focused because I was testing the matte varnish. I was testing these. It's always nice to have something on, but when I really got down and dirty, I was enjoying not having a distraction and just really focused, like hyper focused on what was going on with the paints.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really where they start to excel. As you can see, I'm glazing the cadmium red over the top of this burnt umber cad red mix that I've created. So sort of a mahogany burnt red workup that I'm doing. But what's happening here is that after just 1 or 2 layers of glazing with the cad red, I'm getting so much more punch out of it. So it's kind of like the end game where they really show their strengths. It's the fighting them through the layering phase can be a little bit of a bummer when using heavy-bodied acrylics, because they just will fight you and not give you much opacity to work with.
I'm very excited to have a good amount of time to sit and listen to my book on the trip tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be good.
On the plane?
Yeah, I'm happy that I found a new series to listen to right before a really long trip, which was good.
Yeah, you said you were really late digging it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. I finally got into some of the meat of the story, which is good. So.
Yeah, don't lick your brush.
Step out.
Combine it with nickel cadmium, so you can recharge yourself. Right now, we're trying to determine whether or not we will be using true cadmium pigments or the synthetic versions. So that final determination has not been made yet. They do make synthetics. You cannot, however, make paint with lead. So that won't be happening.
No, thank goodness. Probably not the best option.
Shush, don't eat the paint.
Yeah, shush, don't eat the paint.
Yeah, we have a matte varnish. Matter of fact, I was using it yesterday doing some testing. This is our gloss, of course, making the miniature super spicy. And then we'll go back over it. I glossed and matted this guy 4 times yesterday. But I did the same with this model to use it as a side-by-side. So this is the model after, the same amount of gloss, and then you can see I missed the matte on his foot down here. So you can see it's the same amount of gloss that we had on the other model, but then you can see how up on the upper torso it just completely knocked the gloss back. Right. I mixed the matte varnish in with the paints that I did for her face, and varnished over the top of her face when I was done, and I've been using it a lot just to try to get the consistencies done. You can see how the red that I'm using and the umber that I'm using is still a base umber pigment, so it's going to be very satiny. Xrian, stop it. Corvus, you're going to attempt your first non-metallic paint job on one of the Stormcast Eternals. Nice!
Nice. Well, this is a
That's taking off a big one.
good starting point for you. They're really fun to paint in non-metallic metal. They have good surfaces for it.
Is there really any difference between varnishes and mediums? Well, a varnish is a medium, right? A colorless medium. It can be used without adding any other paint to it. Whereas, you know, like a glaze medium, you wouldn't really do that, right? Because of the way the tool is designed to be used. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely consider it a medium. Mix the varnish in with your paints. Now, when you start getting into heavy solvent, like lacquer varnishes and things like that, typically no, those are meant as top coats. So you hear a lot of people say things like top coat, you know, clear coat. They're meant to be a clear, you know, from like the automotive industry and you know, painting wood, like clears and polyurethanes and things like that. So you can definitely use them the same way on models. A lot of times when we talk about varnish and modeling, we talk about putting on a protective layer that is clear, that maybe you put on before you do another painting technique like a wash, or that you put on at the end of the model. But you can definitely mix them with the paints. Teeny tiny, what's going on? Zazin, you guys watch any paint tutorials anymore? You asking chat or us? I have to say I don't really. That's a lie. I watch them because of the person and not necessarily for the content that they're doing, but for the person. Like when we're working with another artist or something like that, then I'll go in and watch, you know, looking, you know, their personality and how their community interaction is and stuff like that. But I don't typically find myself watching paint tutorials for painting sake.
Yeah, I largely have the same sort of situation. I'm one of those people where I strongly believe that there's always something to be learned from anybody and everybody. So if I'm kind of if there's somebody whose work I really like, I always like to know what their process is. Not necessarily so that I can try and mimic it, but so I could potentially understand their thought process when they're applying paint to the model. And that might inspire me to think about painting in a different way or approach how I paint a little differently. And I can learn a lot from that. So, I mean, for example, when we were at Adepticon, I got to watch Magic paint.
Yep.
And it was really fascinating to me, even as somebody with as much experience and skill as I have, being able to watch somebody else who has a completely different way of approaching painting than me. And it was really, really fascinating to watch. So do I often go out of my way to watch those things? No, but I do appreciate watching them when I do. I hope that makes sense.
The D-Fresh 300, hey Monument friends, what can cause a gritty texture to show up on my model? I know it's my brushwork, not the paint.
Sounds like you might be thinning your paint a little too much. That's usually one of the most common causes for something like that to happen. Typically, if you over thin the paint, it'll break down the paint mixture, and the particles of pigment start to stick together, which is what creates that gritty texture. Try thinning your paint less, and you'll probably have a much better result.
make sure that your primer layer is good too.
Mm-hmm.
Primer a lot of times being inconsistent or pulling out texture on the model, that'll transfer through to liquid acrylics because they just inherit whatever the surface texture is beneath them.
And it's hard to see sometimes because, especially if you're using a dark base coat for your primer.
Dale McCormick said, "Good God, I joined live and it looks like looking at my ex-wife."
I saw that.
Amazing what you see after the fact.
What the heck?
Bill, glad we could do that for you.
Foam trays back in stock.
Foam trays are back in stock. Woo!
Look at those eyes and think she looks like my future ex-wife.
Oh, that makes more
Mrs.
sense
DeLay
now.
must not be watching today.
Yeah. Let's say somebody thinks Jason and I look like their ex-wife. Either we have a problem or they have a problem.
I'd say it's neither. I'd be like, why'd you leave her? I'm dead sexy.
You would say that. Mm-hmm.
I am also absolutely nuts, so I kind of get it. Jen's a trooper. She puts up with me.
And vice versa.
I looked at her the other day. I go, "Thank you for putting up with me." She goes, "Same." We have those moments. Those are our lovey moments where we're like, "Thank you so much for putting up with me." Same to you.
Mud Monkey said, "I purchased my first Pro Acrylic colors last week, and they make a huge difference.
Awesome.
Hopefully in a good way."
Yeah, I imagine that's...
We assume a good
in a
way,
good
but
way.
that might be presumptuous. So, thank you.
We're going to go with yes.
Baka, I think that's a sign of a healthy relationship.
What's that?
Being able to say thanks for putting up with me.
Yeah, exactly, right?
This set is so good.
They're helping learn much easier. Awesome. That's what we like to hear.
This bright yellow ochre is the perfect color to bring out the yellow in the gold non-metallic. Does such a good job of keeping that kind of almost desaturated feel, but still being vibrant and enough yellow to really make it feel correct. Great.
That is a fair point. Plot tomato. Fortunately for me, and hopefully for Jason, we have not gotten to that point.
What's that?
It's only healthy until the response is, well, about that.
We had a good run. That's the other thing Jen says to me.
That's our thing. We had a good run.
If you can
Usually
survive...
after I say I don't want whatever it is she wants for dinner.
He sent me a message the other day. I missed out on getting us fifth row Justin Timberlake tickets. My response, well, we had a good run.
So good. Oh, I laughed so hard when you said that, Jason. Oh,
The day after the concert, he tells me this.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, you know that concert that just happened? Could have gotten us tickets to that.
Well, I don't pay attention to that WhatsApp chat very often. She said you need to now.
You gotta pay attention. Dipolar stream. Just ordered the basic set and fluorescence and the Rogue hobby set and a handful of singles yesterday.
Nice.
Awesome.
Thank
Wife,
you.
Oh my gosh. Wife is going to turn some Ewoks into Care Bears.
Oh my gosh.
no.
Blood effects
That's
will
hilarious.
be added.
Blood
I
effects
will need to
will
see
be
pictures of
added.
these. Please post them in our Discord.
That's hilarious.
I'm going to give you the link right now.
Jed's like, I have to see this. This must be posted.
Correa just got the Flame On set on Saturday. It's nice to have ready set colors.
Nice.
Awesome. Did I miss a raid from Brannigan's Brushes?
Brannigan,
Oh no,
Hello?
it just happened, I think.
what's up, guys?
yeah.
Welcome,
just
Raiders.
Welcome, Raiders. Hello, Brannigan. How you doing?
Bakamaru has a question for Jason. Are these naturally glossy or are they like oils and still wet on the headscarf?
No, they're naturally going to be more satin. The way you'll get them from us will not be. Unfortunately, I'm testing. The only ones that I have here where we've already added in to see how far we can go with the matting are the Naphthol Red, which I'm not using. I'm about to. The Naphthol Red, the Phthalo Blue, and the Phthalo Green. So
Didn't you use the Naphthol red on the cloak?
on the cloak, yep.
Yeah. It was
Justin
looking nice on
Timberlake
that.
has ruined many relationships. Jason needs Justin Timberlake tickets for his birthday? Nope, he's already been here.
I was not
Justin
gonna
Timberlake
go.
was here like a couple weeks ago, a week ago. I don't know.
Also, just to remind you, Jen will not be here
I also will not be here on Jason's birthday.
to partake
Thanks for
of
bringing that
those
up.
tickets. So Jason would be going to a show by himself. For a
No,
thing
I
that
would
he
not.
It already
would not be
happened.
interested in going
It
to.
already happened. That's the thing.
Yeah. I was just saying, just in case.
Yeah, if
would
someone
not.
were to buy him tickets for his birthday, it would also have to involve a plane ticket, a hotel.
Which
My
I
wife
can't
just
do because my dog needs me.
Yes, this will be Jason's first time alone with the dog.
Uh-oh.
So all you dads out there who have had your, like, if you think back to your first time where you were responsible for your kid without your wife, he needs tips.
He needs tips.
My wife just makes me a cross stitch with a non-specific threat to my life. Mud Monkey said, from somebody who grew up with lead miniatures and Humbrol enamel, it's amazing how this hobby has evolved.
Yeah, right. Same here. Painting for over 45 years. All I had was enamels from Humbrol and testers, lacquer thinner, or if my dad was involved, I just had turpentine.
Ooh.
Because that's what we had in the garage.
Actually,
So.
said it's like whenever I tell my wife no at the tack shop. So you don't love me anymore? Is that it?
Yes. Wait.
Yes,
Well,
that is it. Sneaky Brand stream today. Hope it was fun. Yes, thank you. I need to see those Care Bears. Very important. Jason needs airfare and JT tickets for his birthday with the rest of the office, minus Jen and Jordan. What? No way.
Yeah, there's no way I would be able to make it back.
you
for
would
that.
literally die, dude. Don't
No.
do it. I don't want you to die. We love you.
Shelby can watch Cora. Well, apparently not, because she's part of the rest of the office.
I miss Cora already.
She's pretty great, that one.
She's a pretty good dog.
She's also a pain in the ass.
Behind every good man is a wonderful wife rolling her eyes. Mm-hmm.
That's not inaccurate, to be honest.
Does Cora need you to drive her around in the car to get her to sleep? Well, she does require being driven around for some things, yes. She demands a car ride every weekend.
Oh, did she enjoy her trip for the doggo cone?
For what?
The doggo cone?
Huh?
To Starbucks on the weekend?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys did it, and I'm assuming that Cora
Oh,
had a
yes.
good time.
She generally does not get a pup cup anymore because of her
Oh, because of the thing.
sensitive stomach, but she did get one on Saturday.
Oh.
And it didn't seem to bother her, so might be back to having them occasionally.
It's a good sign.
Does Cora need diapers changed? Does she need a high chair to eat? If not, I may not have any advice on first time solo fathering.
No, she's fairly self-sufficient.
Oh, Shelby would take Cora over JT any day. Not a fan. He's before her time, I think.
You don't have to worry. I'm not a fan either. So all these tickets are going to get hawked. And I'm going to take the proceeds.
My friends will go with me.
Go pick up a drinking habit or something.
I'll tell you, I have seen Justin Timberlake in concert before. And he's a fantastic performer. It's a really great show. Even if you don't like his music, you can't deny there's tons of energy. He's a great dancer. He has like a full like orchestra type band with horns.
I'm sure that as a theatrical really presentation, it's pretty incredible. The money they spend on those things is crazy. Yeah. I'm just still an old punk rock kid, so for me, none of that makes a difference. I want a CD bar.
Ghost Hunter would take Cora if she would share her beanbag. She loves to share her beanbag. It's impossible to move.
She doesn't like to give you a lot of room on the beanbag, but she likes you to be there with her.
She'll snuggle right up to you, and then which really has no beans. Quad Tomato, enjoy your board game night. See you next time.
Bye, Wad Potato.
Automaton.
Automaton.
Boots.
Boots. Boots. Cats. Boots. Cats.
Jason doing a 24/7 stream with Cora in the office for his birthday this week. Jason, you can do all the totally irresponsible things that are great ideas.
I'd watch
Laser,
that.
Ball pit. Shelby says casino. I don't know what that means. What kind of doggo is she? Rescue. The best kind.
Also very cute.
Unsure. She's
mostly bull terrier.
Some form of bull terrier, yes, like pit bully looking kind of. She has that broad chest, but short legs. So we're unsure. I'm gonna do the dog DNA. I gotta find out.
Yeah, Jen, I have to find out.
Oh, I see, Shelby. You're taking the ticket. You're gonna sell the tickets and use the money and go to the casino. Gotcha.
Sounds like a great way to spend that money.
Vector, good night.
Bye, Vector.
Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
I will not see you tomorrow.
Jordan will not.
But I'll be back next week.
Jordan will see some of you, though, this week.
True. I will see
Teeny.
some number of you this weekend.
Captain Mannerings.
More than zero, less than a lot.
I love pity heads. They're just big dum-dums. She has a wonky ear, so one of her ears sticks out sideways. Very cute. Jordan starts his foreign exchange program semester abroad tomorrow.
Sort of.
It is like a study abroad. Xenophonetics said not sure about using ivory or bright ivory on Mystique's clothes for the shadows. Doing warm shadows because she's blue. Thoughts? Ivory and bright ivory seem too bright for shadows.
Yeah, too bright.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I would not use either of those colors for shadows.
Well, Mystique is white, right?
Well, her outfit.
So she's the way her outfit is she's got a white outfit on. So, but I would still think if you're looking in the yellowish brownish range, then the ivories can work. But they're still not going to get dark enough for real shadow. So, I mean, you could take that and mix in some, like, dark warm gray or warm gray or something into them. That's going to cool that color off a bit. But if you want the shadows to be warmer like that, then even red gray mixed in with them could be really good.
Yellow ochre mixed with gray. Interesting.
The
Captain Mannering's the size of the the event. Mud Monkey said, any recommendations for lesser known punk bands, please?
Oh, that's a Jason thing.
That is a Jason question for sure.
Yeah, definitely. can't help you
What
there.
kind of stuff do you like? Because I'm not. I say I'm an old punk kid, but I'm an old hardcore kid, really.
So maybe some examples of
What's in heavy rotation for me right now is mostly what I call post-hardcore stuff. Sam I Am, Hot Water Music, and then really heavy stuff like Death Before Dishonor.
Social Distortion.
I say really heavy stuff. Kids these days, they'll be like, "That ain't heavy at all. Listen to this. Hold my beer."
Hold my beer.
I don't like music where it all starts and ends with. We need Lumberjack Tim for that.
Yeah. Captain Mannerings, I totally get that. Yes, hopefully they have places where if you need to like sneak outside or get a little bit of a break from all the crowds. Hopefully they accommodate that.
Yeah, Rancid's always pretty good. If you want throwbacks to where Tim was, I think Tim played guitar in Operation Ivy. Op Ivy's good. The Crimp Shrine, if you like that kind of stuff that has that little slight ska vibe, ska punk, West Coast stuff.
You don't like the singers who gargle razor blades before going on stage?
That sounds awful.
If the thing you're holding for them is beer, it's not that hardcore.
Out come the wolves.
I need you to do a death growl ad now, Jason.
So Jason would not like Art Chagathis, is what I learned. Can you read their band name? Because I usually like bands where you can actually read the name. The ones where you can't read the name and all the logos look exactly. When you look at the concert poster, it's like, is the same band playing 80 times? I don't understand what's going on here. Right? Then no, it's probably not for me. Because it's a... Your favorite band is two guys who use chainsaws to dual wield in a rock quarry.
We need a gothy death metal ad.
Jeez.
Put it on the whiteboard, Gabe.
But on the whiteboard.
I mean, I do like
It'd be
heavy
fun
stuff.
for,
I like
like,
stuff like
Metallics.
Black Breath. Thanks for Sam I Am, not a band that gets much coverage in the UK. Yeah, Sam I Am's great. Red City Radio is along those
Ooh,
lines.
I like Red City Radio. I've seen them in concert.
So, yeah, I don't have my Spotify with me, but...
I think that's an idea for an ad for metallic paints. Is the metal voice.
Oh my gosh, that would be really funny.
The growl that I just did? With subtitles?
Yeah.
And a black wig?
Yes.
And, like, death metal
I
paint?
have that black wig that I never
Death metal
used.
paint. Even
Yeah.
Norwegians like Procryl. And like a painted, like a spiked armband, white paint with like black tears.
Oh my gosh, please let this happen.
Whiteboard.
Whiteboard now, please.
There you go, Corvus. Good riddance. Yeah, Agent Orange had a good album.
Wow.
Fury 66, okay. The Vandals. I mean, Agent Orange and the Vandals could have never played another gig, and I'd have been all right. But that's that Southern California stuff. Good riddance. I'm big fans of though. 88 Fingers Louie.
Studio 88 has a question about Glaze wash medium. Would it work like the Lamian medium from GW? I need a contrast / speed medium. Was wondering if I could use your Glaze and wash medium. I
It'll be
believe
thicker.
yes, I think.
There.
Wait a minute. Where is this so I can read it?
Or can you see this other one over here?
Would your glaze wash medium work like Lamian medium from GW? You need a contrast speed medium, and just wondering if I could use your glaze wash medium. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we have a YouTube video where I painted a model and did just that, right? So this old guy, like, just very quickly doing the cloak, right? and the skin and everything was done with just the Glaze wash medium in the paints, and the fur on the cloak is literally just turning our paints into speed paints, contrast paints. But you get so much more pigment out of them, and it doesn't cause them to run into pools where you get that weird pooling shadow effect that I hate so much. So yeah, you can definitely do it. If you're looking to do that, you're probably looking at a reduction of about 10-to-1 Glaze medium to paint, and then about half of that much again in water. The water is really what's going to do it for you, because the water is what gets it flowing. The medium is as thick as the paint, so if you just put the medium on there, it reduces opacity and makes it easy to glaze with. Where you get the wash part, which is what you're going to want for speed paints, is by adding water, right? So test it out and find out where it's comfortable for you, the amount of water you want to add in. So I do, somewhere in that 5 to 10 drops of Glaze medium to 1 drop of paint, and then water to taste. Until you get it flowing like you want it to give you the right kind of coloring over your pre-shading. But it works great. If you're doing a corpse paint ad, you definitely have to be using Pro Acryl paints as the corpse paint. Paint my whole face with titanium white.
As the thought said, I hung out with Norwegians over the weekend. They were not aware of Pro Acryl, although Sam Lenz was around somewhere.
They lie a lot.
They lie a lot.
They lie a lot. They lie a lot. They knew about it. They didn't want you to know about it. Water to taste. Like, you've heard me say that a million times.
That's definitely a phrase that he says often without thinking about how chat will interpret it.
Oh, I think about it. I think about it lots.
I think about it all the time.
All the time.
That is a phrase that Jason uses frequently without considering how it's going to affect me, as I have to then convince you that he is not telling you to eat our paint.
Oh, I know. I do it for Jen.
He's got your number, Jen.
I do it for Jen.
He's got your number.
I'm a lazy painter. I'm over here mixing colors that I'm like, I have this color in Pro Acryl. Why am I doing this?
Is that lazy, or is that just having fun mixing colors?
Well, I do this for a living. And now I'm sitting here doing it like it's inflicting pain on myself.
Wait, hold on. Why are you inflicting pain on yourself? Jason, you talked about this.
I'm testing the paint. There's masochists out there that want their heavy-bodied Pro Acryl.
True. They're gonna get it.
Oh, they're gonna get it all right. I'm really enjoying it, actually.
OMG, Mike, I think he actually knows it, too.
What's that?
My phone number.
Oh, gosh, don't ask me to
Said
read
I
it
hope
out.
he's got her number. They live together.
Well, definitely don't put it
I'm not
out
gonna,
in the middle of the
I'm
street.
not going to say it now, but if put on the spot, I think he usually knows it.
I can enter it in some places without having to look it up, but the one place I always get frustrated for not being able to remember Jen's phone number is the grocery store, when I have to enter her phone number in to get our discount.
Oh, well, that's...
I'm always like there. I think it's because I'm freaking out, because it always asks me and it's beeping at me and there's people waiting in line, and I'm like, it's so much pressure.
Is this why Jen usually goes to the grocery store?
No, maybe.
Yes.
No, maybe.
I don't want to admit to this, but
Sugar Rush said, oh, he's using heavy body. When can I buy?
our target is somewhere around like Black Friday, but they may happen before that. That's our goal. Packaging is, we're at the point where all the long, burdensome stuff takes place. Packaging, label making, right?
Yes,
All that kind of stuff.
867-5309 plus the area code. But back then, you didn't need an area code. All right, I got to step out again. I'll be back.
You got a what?
I just need...
Jen's leaving us.
So you got to go drop the kids off at the pool.
Yes, Jason.
Everybody poops, Jordan.
Well,
Jen will be the first one to tell you.
everybody poops.
I think when I first met her, I was like, okay, so you got to be honest. Do you poop? And she looked at me and she goes, everybody poops. I was like, yeah, we can hang out.
That's a keeper.
We can hang out. Jen's not afraid of poop jokes.
I hope you led with that one. You gotta tell me, do you poop?
Yeah, that's how I lead on my dates.
Jason, do you poop?
No, never. Not once. Mike says, Jordan said it, chat. Jordan said Jen left to go poop.
Yes. Definitely what I said.
Soulways, what's going on? Good to see you, Nikki. Sugar Rush says, have you decided how many in the line? We're between 24 and 32. It's depending on a lot of what we talked about today with the heavy metal paints, the cadmiums and things like that. So there's some decisions we have to make. Also from a marketing standpoint, do we want it to approach a spot where it has that much replacement for, or things that get kind of gray with the liquid line? So I'm toying around with that. It'll be a very limited line. We'll do it. We'll create those colors. There'll be a permanent addition to the Monument offering. But I probably won't go back and add more. So I want to choose all the ones that I feel like, are winners right out of the gate. So it won't be like a wall of Liquitex at Michael's, but they'll all be single pigment. They're all very, 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 very high-end paints. They're amazing. I'm having a lot of fun with them. Like I said, they're very easy mixing. Everything I'm doing here, I'm just doing on dry palette paper with a number 6 brush, so super simple. Great consistency. Like a block of aluminum. Here's the metallic meat. That would be a good joke. That would be an interesting joke. So yes, maybe. I'm not going to say no to that. That might be forthcoming. They thin really, really well, really, really easily. A lot of what we're doing with these will kind of demystify the ideas that we've been talking about today, where people are like, why would I ever use thick paints for painting 3D miniatures? And you're like, well, these are basically like just heavier versions of our transparent paints. All of our transparent paints are almost identical to these. But rather than doing, 32 colors in the transparent line that people have a little bit harder time wrapping their head around, we made the go-ahead to just make heavy-bodied that you can get to operate in the same way, and that I think will be easier to kind of help people understand the nuances.
Everything check out over there, Jen? Things are good? Nobody's doing anything untoward?
Did it all come out okay, babe? I told him you were pooping.
Gosh darn it, Jason.
What?
It's a poop joke. Too good. Very funny.
Mud Monkey, I don't know if you saw this. Mud Monkey said I would like to attempt a velvet fabric. Did you see that?
A velvet fabric?
Yeah, said I assume stippling would be the best approach.
Probably, yeah. Velvet is going to be something like wool, right? That's going to give you that kind of, I always think of like big tapestries that have a lot of texture to them, very heavy weave. So yeah, stippling is a great way to do that. Typically what I use for things like that. As opposed to, like hatching or something that gives you a lot of line work, because it's not kind of how you expect that texture to be. And I would recommend doing the stippling starting with the first color up from your base. So if you do like, I don't know what color you're trying to do, but if you were to do like, say, a red, like a ruby style red, like what I did on her handkerchief up top, then I would have done my base coat to give some opacity and color for shadow and such. And then starting with the next color, I start doing my texture so that you're layering your coloring with your texture. So think about that. And what it does is it gives that depth, like, I want to say like shag carpet, you feel like you can see that it's deeper. Like when you're painting marble, if you just do the lining on the top, that doesn't look like marble. That looks like veins on a leaf or something. It doesn't look like it sits inside the marble. So you start doing the veining like 3 or 4 colors before you're done, so that you have that layered look that gives depth to it. So do the same with stippling. Takes a little bit longer, but the reward is definitely worth it. You'll see the texture start forming earlier.
Ooh, Mathis getting back in?
Mathis said I ended up ordering Star Wars Shatterpoint core sets. So looks like I'll be getting back into the hobby shortly.
I love it.
Awesome.
That's a
See, all it took was coming around one day. They dragged me right back in.
They got me back in.
Mike has a question for you, Jordan, on box art process. I've noticed some things for Legion don't match the source works. Ike's not having sleeves versus show. Are artists given instructions or guidelines?
So, generally speaking, if you are working on a project like that, so like if I were to paint, I don't know, a character from a show, right? Typically, especially if it's a licensed product, like Shatterpoint and Legion are, those things all have to be approved by the licensee generally. And most of the time you would be given references to follow, be it for color or sculpting references or things like that. And for things like when I was at Privateer, like we would always get like color references for the stuff that we painted. That would be it'd be basically a piece of concept art that would be colored over in where like all the colors are supposed to go and what colors they are, things like that. It helped that you had like one consistent recipe to use for everything. So like everything that was like Khador red would have been a specific recipe that we always used for painting Khador red.
So all of the units on all the boxes tend to look the same.
Yeah, that's done on purpose, right? They want to have all of the studio models be very consistent.
Yeah.
So
well, even we have like a style guide, even though it's fairly boring. It's black, white, gray, but it's a style. Exactly. It has a specific black, white, and gray that we use on like our boxes and such.
Yep.
That you have to stick to.
And that's true for any sort of company that has, IP or like logos in our case, or like a brand, right? So
and I would think it's even, like you said, I would think it's even, more closely adhered to when it's licensed stuff.
Yes.
Because Iron Man has a specific way Iron Man looks. You don't get the freedom to just go make Iron Man different.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And believe it or not, this is something that's funny because you see it a lot in the Marvel world. Realize that a lot of these people have not licensed MCU stuff. They've licensed Marvel Comics products.
Yeah.
And so when you see a particular character, they don't look like they did in the movie because they don't have the rights to make the uniform like that. So you'll see like older Spider-Man outfits, not the movie ones.
Yes.
You'll see Wolverine in his yellow and stuff, not the tight leather suit from the X-Men movie, right?
Yep.
Because they don't have the rights to the character as it appears in certain spots, which I think is crazy, but I also get it.
Well, I mean, if they're building something up that's more of a comic book based project, it makes sense for them to go for that license. Not to mention, I think the MCU license is probably kind of crazy expensive.
Well, they may not even allow that out there,
Correct, yeah.
for things like tabletop games and all that.
So, but for like Star Wars stuff, that stuff is pretty well set in stone. But even then, it's a person on the other side of the approval process. So, their approval may be a little bit variant one way or another. So you might get a little bit of inconsistencies from project to project. But generally speaking, things should be the same. I'd have to look at the pikes. It also might be like if you're looking at the pikes from like the cartoons, those may not be exactly what you get in the Legion models. So if they're sculpted a little differently, that might be the case. They may have a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to sculpting like that.
Kazunite.
There you go. But it really just depends on the specific rules that they have with their licensees.
Ghost Hunter said, Jordan, what Pro Curl color is a good match for privateer press trolls asking for a friend?
Ooh, that is a good question. You're talking about like traditional, like the traditional blue trolls, I assume. Definitely, we don't have anything that's quite exactly the same. The troll color is really bright, but also very desaturated. The closest thing that we would have would be
You just named every P3 paint.
Well, that's true. Their whole line is extremely desaturated.
Extremely desaturated.
So like gray blue is a pretty close color. I actually did a paint over for one of the Games Workshop trolls as a short a while back, and that would be a pretty close recipe to use. Although that's closer to their like winter trolls color scheme. Obviously, we're not going to have anything one for one. But if you were to desaturate out like dark gray blue and gray blue, that's kind of the general hue that you're looking for. It's just a little too saturated. There's also a lot of like subtle purples and pinks that are used in the face. So where you would use reds and or greens in regular like skin tone, or blues in regular skin tone, those sorts of colors are incorporated into the troll faces. If you look at a lot of the old photos up close, you'll see some of that. Been a while since I painted troll skin, but this is a pretty good color palette to start with. Just note that these are too saturated for what you're looking for. So if you were to mix that with like you could use all sorts of different stuff and it would be pretty close. You could mix in a little bit of dark ivory, would be pretty good. It helps because it turns it a little bit more green too, because the troll color is a little bit of like a shift towards green as well. So if you use a more desaturated or like a yellow color, it'll desaturate this and turn it a little green, to get you pretty close.
The Polar Stream, best way to do blood effects with Pro Acryl. Right now we just have Citadel's blood for the blood god. Well, it's a good thing you asked today before Jordan painted over this model.
I'm not going to paint over this model. I want to, I'm not going to.
Very good timing on this question.
So I actually did a short on this too, with this very model, where I take our dark crimson.
Dark crimson.
Where is dark?
It's the color you want.
Oh, is it over here? Here it is.
Blood effects are easy if you're not a coward.
And you can see on the
also true. You have an X-Acto knife and a little bit of effort. A little bit of bravery and an X-Acto knife, and you're there. We did not just promote that live on stream.
But you can see how
it was game delay. He said it.
He's a medical attorney. He's just looking for his next customer.
Dark dried blood or some dark wet blood as well. It's perfect for that sort of thing.
It's gloss, so
Yeah.
it's going to come out wet looking.
And you can put different, like you can layer it up too. You can see how this is like a little bit more shiny in some spots and more kind of satin in other spots. That's me thinning out the dark crimson over a more matte surface, and then applying a thicker droplet of pure dark crimson on top of it, and that'll give you this kind of a mottled, semi-wet, semi-dry looking blood.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, it works really, really, really well.
I mean, one of your sponsored painters, Ninjon, did a whole video on painting with his blood samples from his diabetes test.
Oh, I remember talking to him about that one.
Wait, he did that?
Yeah, yeah.
He painted with his, yes. Not too long ago. Like, within the last year.
A little rough.
Yeah.
A little rough, that John guy. A little rough around the edges.
Nice, looks gross. Perfect. Yes.
Dale got to him.
It does look gross. I really didn't say that. Wipe the chat log.
But Game Delay, it's right there
I
for
love
all
gore
to
and
see.
medical videos, but that video did make me have to pause for a while.
Oh man, whole lot of sitting on a plane tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be a long trip. I realized that I leave at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, and I arrive at 8 a.m. on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you
you're not on
lose
the
coming
plane
home.
for 26 hours.
Oh, no.
No, we win coming home.
You win coming home.
Yeah, the opposite happens. I leave at one time, and then I get back 4 hours later.
Yeah.
So coming home is only a 4-hour flight, but going there is a 26 hours.
Well, yes, technically.
I understand time.
Yeah.
Can't take that much paint on the plane. They will have like movies and stuff. I'm sure. Any plans for more miniature releases? Well, this one that Jason is painting is the next one.
And then, yes, we have some cool collectible sculpts for some of the Age of Angra characters that are going to be in the game. Our first game is, we just got the review samples in today.
That was very exciting.
Bye, Jess. For the rest of your day. And then we do also currently sell quite a bunch of miniatures.
We do.
Which,
Oh.
for those of you that have been paying attention, this week, on my birthday, we're putting all of the awesome miniatures from Mineworks and Journeyman on sale.
What?
Yeah, 40% off, gang.
This is what happens when I leave.
Yep.
You guys.
What you gets.
Have
Leaving
no
me on my
control
birthday.
over the situation.
So I am not
Jason
adulting.
is by himself.
Jen can't stop me. She's not here. Even though she's here right now.
Great, my wife will be so happy.
Great, my wife will be so happy.
That's really happening. I didn't budget for this. Is it part of the Death Laser Fund initiative?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the death
Buy
laser.
minis, get Death Laser.
Mike's excited. Cart is all loaded and ready. Jen Can't Stop Me is the name of the sale.
That is the name of the sale. We're going to do that's what we're going to do.
Just call it, or make the discount code Jen Can't Stop Me.
Jen's on vacation sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, the code is Jen Can't Stop Me.
Yep.
I love it. Done.
Man, your birthday's gonna be such a wild stream. Then we're not gonna be here for it. Makes me sad.
Well, you should have thought of that before you decided to leave, traitor.
Well, that was actually your decision, not
Oh,
mine.
well.
Yeah, I have to.
I'm not being
I have
held
to blame
accountable
you for
for that
mine
one.
too. Because I wouldn't be going if you weren't in the thing. So, in a roundabout way,
It's Jason's
it's your fault.
See how this happened? You got blamed for everything.
I'm used to it.
I'm used to it.
Lone Grunt, hello. Been catching the VODs because of the time difference. Any tips for painting zombie skin for zombies in a desert? Skin with yellow tone.
I would avoid doing as much of the kind of blues or purpley undertones, and I would stick to more greens and browns. Just because you want to give that kind of dried out husk feel. And then lots of texture. Wrinkly texture is really good. Anything sort of in that vein is really good. Have fun with it. There's not really a whole bunch of right or wrong answers. You can look at pictures of mummies if you really want to get gruesome with it, for reference, because that'll be a good option for dried husk type looking stuff, but kind of a not super fun thing to look at. Pretty gross.
Hey, we don't shame here.
They're mummies. They're very dead, unless they're not.
I've seen that movie.
I did too. A long time ago. Did you like the movie?
May 30th. May 30th is a global holiday.
It is now.
It's also Watomato's birthday? Is it Watomato?
Is it what?
Watomato's birthday?
No, it's
Oh, Teeny knows someone with your birthday.
who does?
Teeny Tiny Victories.
Oh.
Uh,
No, but one of our community members,
No.
local.
yes. Mad Malachite.
Yeah.
But I thought it was Watomato's birthday as well. Because, yes, it is, because he said that he's getting a cake from Zambies on his birthday.
Oh, okay.
And a sale on miniatures.
Well, fantastic.
Yep.
Dang.
And it's also Jamie Dagger's birthday.
So
Oh, it is.
So potato.
Boots Cats Patomtom.
Boots, cats, patom.
Boots, cats,
the same
patamaton.
birthday as you. And Jamie Dagger's. Anyone here seen the new Mad Max?
I have not.
Is it out?
It is
Yeah.
out. A friend of mine went to go see it last night. Or this weekend.
I will not be seen.
The new Mad Max world doesn't interest me in the least. I'm sorry.
Did you say Mad Maxwell?
World.
Oh. Like, he's
Said
using his
word.
formal name.
Mad Maxwell. What a
It's
name.
3:55 too, by the way,
I just
which is
saw
crazy
that.
that happened so quickly.
I saw a very interesting take, which is just fan fiction, on the Tom Hardy Mad Max.
Maddington W. Maxwell.
Maddington W. Maxwell.
Yeah, exactly.
MWM.
That said that rather than that being Max, that was the kid, the feral kid from, was it Thunderdome? Or no, it was the original Mad Max Road Warrior movie. Remember the feral kid?
Do I need to watch these old movies? Is it worth me going back and watching the original Mad Max?
Well, that's why I don't like the new Mad Maxes that much, because they've completely butchered that whole thing. So do you have to go back and watch it? No, it doesn't add anything to the new ones. They're kind of standalone. Should you go back and watch them because they're awesome? Yes.
Yeah, that was what I was asking. Yeah.
You should go watch Mad Max and the Road Warrior. Beyond Thunderdome or whatever it's called could take a hike.
I thought I seem to recall people telling me that they really liked Thunderdome.
Tina Turner's in that one.
Okay. So, those people are not your friends.
Except George Miller explicitly stated that it's Max. You mean it's not Maxwell? Is that what you're saying? I disagree with the author. Fury Road is a 10 out of 10 movie and is the best in the series. Xenophonetic said, in my opinion, the first two were not great. Mathis said, to be fair, Max doesn't do much in any of the movies. He's almost a silent protagonist.
Well, no.
Oh, the
in
character...
Mad Max, he does everything.
Except, okay, what As the Thoughts is saying is that the character in Fury Road is Max, not the kid.
Yeah. No, I get it. I said it's just fan fiction.
Jason likes the idea that it is not, in fact.
Oh,
I like the idea that it wasn't Max because it was such a horrible character in the movie that I'm like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Yeah, I would disagree, but I get it. I understand. I'm not who they made Fury Road for.
Game delay. I love Night and Day with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz. It's a terrible movie. Watch Thunderdome the way you might watch Night and Day. That's awesome.
Well, and that's the case too, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's.
I mean, I like bad movies, so I might enjoy it. That being said, I also like good movies, so my mileage varies to some extent. But I do have...
That's the great thing with subjective entertainment. You can like whatever you want.
Yep.
And you should go and like it however you want, whenever you want, as much as possible so that you have fun.
I have about 14 or 15 hours sitting on a plane that I get to spend doing stuff. So,
Well, there you go.
Movies are definitely an option. I might pre-download a bunch on my iPad. Jordan is watching all Mad Max movies on his flights.
There you go.
That would be funny. Mathis, where's your long flight to? I'm going to the UK. Going to Birmingham.
Jordan is going to UK Games Expo.
I am.
So if you live over there and you're going to UK Games Expo, or if you've been on the fence about going to UK Games Expo, but you'd love to go and meet Jordan, you can go do that.
You should.
This
It'll be
next
fun.
weekend. Who run Bartertown? Nobody. It's not a thing. Horrible movie. Horrible movie.
It'll be fine. I've flown a lot, and I don't mind sitting on an airplane. Not horrible.
Xenophonetic, you couldn't tell me what actually happened in the first Mad Max movie?
I think I can tell you what happened in the first Mad Max movie.
5 minutes after you watched it?
What? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I get this right.
So the world's going to crap,
And
right?
and
The fuel wars are happening.
his wife and kid
the
get
police
murdered,
forces
right?
run out of control because they're corrupt, and this biker gang is ruling over the streets, right? They kill Max's wife and child.
Yep.
And then he goes
That's
on a
crazy.
murder spree to kill them all, right? And supposedly, Toe Cutter P, right? One of those guys turns out to be the head honcho bad dude in the Road Warrior movie.
He drove down the road.
He did drive down the road quite a bit, very fast.
It's been so long, I have not idea what happened anymore.
And then somehow it turned into the aftermath of the apocalypse in the Road Warrior, where now it's all just dirt.
Captain Mannerings, what the heck are brummies? Is this a magical UK thing?
The convention will water them down? The
don't-
Brummies?
I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means either. I'm confused.
I mean, if you say that like that xenophonetic, then all the Mad Max movies are they just drive down the road. Or if you watch Fury Road, which is completely misleading, they don't even drive on a road. They just drive on dunes.
It's not just dirt. It's basically just Arizona.
Brummies are people from Birmingham.
Are they? Do they
Uh-oh.
need to be watered
This
down?
is that unique thing you're going to find, which is township hate.
Oh.
Oh, you live in the next town over? I can't talk to you.
So it's like people from Phoenix hating people from Tucson.
Yes.
Or from Tempe.
Yeah.
Or et cetera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Jen throws sharp objects as the people who were Arizona Wildcats.
I mean, to be fair, everybody kind of hates Tucson.
I mean, for a good reason.
Jen, for a good reason. It's funny. I had a couple friends who went down to Tucson this weekend, and the only thing that I ever heard about it that they ever said about it was they were like, "I hate Tucson.
It's
Tucson
brown.
sucks."
It's very brown.
So they pieced out. They said, no more road.
Have you met people from Tempe? Yes. You? Sugar Rush. It's brutal. Where is Kenny?
I'm continuing to. He
Tuesday.
said he was sick.
Oh.
He was running a fever.
This guy.
So
This
I'm
lazy
having
guy.
fun.
Hey, whoa.
Just sketching
Sugar Rush.
colors in.
Be careful.
What's that?
Sugar Rush said, "Have you met people from Tempe?" Ew. Mm-mm.
So, gang, it is time for us to bid you adieu.
Oh, let me get some links.
You have to say goodbye to the man, the myth, the legend, Jordan.
Hi.
He will be gone until when are you coming back?
It's just,
Tuesday?
it's not a
So-
goodbye. It's a see you later.
Yeah, so see you later. I fly back on Monday. So I get in like midday on Monday.
So maybe Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah. It depends on how I feel on Tuesday. There's a distinct possibility that I'm going to be so fried that Tuesday's not going to work well.
Gameplay says, I'll miss you. We had a good run.
Don't worry. We'll continue having a good run when I get back.
Mathis, quick question before you go. How often do you restock the shop? All the time.
Yeah. It's
I mean, we're continually making stuff depending on what you want. Things like the bags, the Evo bag, our big
Yeah.
carry bag, won't be back in stock until mid to late next month.
Check
Next
the
month being
store
June.
locator, though, Memphis, because there's stores in your area.
Yeah, we have stores in Australia, too.
Yeah.
We have a distributor down there.
Yeah.
Pow, pow, pow. Gap Games is usually pretty good with most of the products.
Combat Company buys from us directly.
Yeah, Combat Company.
And then
Gap Games.
some other stores, too.
There's no store in the Philly area. Is there not?
No? You sure?
I know we have a store in Pittsburgh.
Here's, I put this up already, but I'm going to put it right again so that it's right there for you. There's our store locator.
Hopefully Jordan is going to get an interview to reapply for his job when he returns. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Look, he just shakes his head. Jordan puts up with this for 2 hours a day every day.
You guys are lucky.
He gets weekends off, so.
You guys are lucky that I know that Jason actually wants me here. Otherwise, I would be very sad. I'd be a very, very sad person on a day-to-day basis.
Hectorine says, have a safe flight.
Thank
Safe
you.
travels. Yes.
Thank you.
Will Shelby be painting in Jason's absence? I'm not leaving.
Jason's the only one sticking around this time.
But I'm not leaving. It's him leaving. I'm here. You got to put up with me for the rest of the week. Alone. And then Jen leaves after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? So on my birthday
Jason is
Thursday,
completely
all bets are off.
unsupervised.
And like, we're going crazy. I'm doing giveaways on Thursday. We're starting the miniature sale that goes all the way through the weekend and maybe through the next week. I don't know. Till I turn it off. So
Misty
Jen
Pants.
gets back and turns it off.
We were painting minis. We're about done, but we're gonna raid, and we'll raid someone who is painting minis. So stick around.
Yes, we do paint. We make paints, and then we paint with the paints we make. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you're new here, please hit that follow button. We love seeing you around, and thanks for hanging with us. Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. is our stream time. Like we said, Jordan will be leaving us tomorrow. You'll be stuck in here with me. So it'll be great times. We'll have a lot of fun. Look forward to seeing you back. Stick around. We are going to find somebody to raid for more hobby goodness as you go off into your evening. Did you throw up links?
I did.
Like a mile ago?
Yeah.
So if you scroll back in chat, there's links on how to get to our store, monumenthobbies.com, our Discord, which is a great 24/7 way to hang out with the community, meet friends, get inspired, do all the fun stuff, tell fart jokes, show pictures of your dog. That's what we do. So we'd love to have you come over and hang out there, as well as links to the store locator to find a store near you so you can help support your local gaming store. They're the ones that do all the heavy lifting. We just make the cool stuff. So go buy some Pro Acryl, enjoy your hobby, and we'll catch up with you again back here tomorrow. Adios, gang. We're out.
Bye.
Yeah.